The attackers mentioned having provided shred logs as evidence that they had deleted their copy of the data. What is shred? Shred is a Linux command, right? And we can take a look at the man page of shred. It says shred, overwrite a file to hide its contents and optionally delete it. So you can actually run shred on an individual file. You can run shred on a whole hard drive. If you want to sanitize a hard drive, to purge the data from it, shred will basically overwrite the contents of the file or the hard drive with a, typically I think it's like a random sequence of just random bits, and then optionally it can delete the file. Now, some file systems are like copy on write file systems, so just overwriting the file does not necessarily mean the data is completely gone from the drive. And if you're using something like an SSD, overwriting the drive does not necessarily guarantee that all the data is gone from the drive also, just due to the way SSDs have like the way they the wear leveling and how they allocate data on the actual SSD does not necessarily mean that you will overwrite every bit in the SSD. But all that being said, check this out. Let's say, for example, I am an attacker. I've broken into your environment. I have exfiltrated a bunch of data. And I've got all this data here in a file. And then you pay me a bunch of money because I'm extorting you, holding your data for ransom, threatening to release it. I will delete the data. I'll shred it. I'll provide proof. And then, we make a deal and go on with our lives. So I can say I'm going to shred secret data.txt. And then if we look at it, it's random junk now. Or I can say shred -- remove secret data.txt. And now it is gone. There is no more file. And I can take a screenshot and I can send it to you. Say, look, I ran shred on it and it's gone. I don't have the data anymore. Even though I just broke into your environment and extorted you for a bunch of money, now you can trust me, right? That I'm not going to give away your data later or come back to extort you again or whatever. Imagine all the different ways this could go wrong. I think you'd have to be pretty gullible to fall for this. And I think the Instructure people are well aware that they can't really trust the attacker, but they have no choice. They're hoping that you, the customer, are not aware that this is no guarantee whatsoever. Because I don't know if you noticed it, but I quickly copied the data to /temp. And so I've still got a copy of the data, even though you saw me shred the data and I sent you quote unquote proof, right? So yeah, you really can't trust the attacker. There's absolutely no way to know that they really got rid of the data. And why would they get rid of the data anyway? It just doesn't make any sense. They can resell the data to somebody else. They can post it on the dark web. They can come back and extort later. They can extort the individual customers, such as the universities, having successfully extorted Instructure. They could have copied the data off to another machine and then shred it on the local machine. There's all kinds of games that could have been played here. So now you know what the shred command is. I actually have used the shred command a number of times. If a machine becomes contaminated with, say, client data, or not even contaminated, but maybe I intentionally use a machine or a virtual machine or a particular device with my client's proprietary data, which happens all the time. And then I want to repurpose that machine for something else. I can use the shred command, and I can use the shred command on particular files or the whole device, and it is very useful. That's it for now. Have a good one.